recorded live.
Welcome to Freedom Fighters for America Radio. Tonight, again, we have the Tom Heneghan Stu Webb Intel Hour, and that's going to be an action-packed show tonight. But first, just a little bit of introduction. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the story you're about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And welcome to the Tom Heneghan Stu Webb Intel Hour. And just give me 1 second here, and welcome aboard.
This is Wednesday, September the 30th, 2009, and this is Stu Webb, and I have on the line with me Tom Heneghan. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing well, Stu, and I want to say hello to all our great listeners out there, and we try to bring you what's going on in occupied America. And we are occupied by a shadow group that is really not a shadow group anymore. They're pretty obvious. They're pretty much out there, showing themselves every day when it comes to our constitutional rights, when it comes to our institutions that we hold sacred. And they are using every organ of our government now to harass the American people, attack our First Amendment and Fourth Amendment rights with this ongoing phony war on terrorism that never existed to begin with, tap our telephones, try to take our guns away. And now, Mr. Obama, alleged President Obama, a.k.a. Barry Soetoro, is using the Internal Revenue Service, has ordered them to basically screen and investigate every company in the United States with employees to make sure that their exemptions do not exceed what the IRS deems to be a reasonable number. By doing this, they are going right in to these companies, Stu, and telling them how much taxes can be taken out of everybody's check, instead of waiting to the end of the year and let the person file his return. Now, I call this Gestapo activity, Stu. And you got to remember, folks, Obama's health care plan, which is nothing more than a diversion to cover up for the fact that there are still quadrillions of derivatives parked in our banks, piled up over the years by the Bush-Clinton crime family syndicate and the conspiratorial, out-of-control Federal Reserve and its stooge banks. Listen to this, folks. If you don't know this already, if he passes this health care plan and you are a small company of, let's say, 10 employees, and you do not cover these people as mandated by the federal government, you are subject to a fine by none other than the Internal Revenue Service. Stu, I find that unacceptable. And
I find everything that this whole government's doing is totally unacceptable at this point, Tom. Totally unacceptable. It shouldn't.
We are at a point where a revolutionary mode must commence quicker, at a quicker pace than I may even at first anticipated. We are now going to the month of October when these subprime derivatives tied to Citibank, CIT, these gigantic mortgage companies, which are all broke, are coming due. They are dollar denominated, which leaves the U.S. currency basically as a mannequin in a shooting gallery. This dollar is going to utterly collapse and collapse to a level where we will not, let me say it this way. We will definitely have, folks, a bank holiday. This has been delayed since Obama became president. But it is coming. Because the U.S. dollar, the World Bank announced the other day that they will no longer honor any more derivatives issued by the Federal Reserve. that leaves the Federal Reserve in a position where they can't create money anymore. If they can't print any more money, what are they going to print? Soap? Baby ducks? They certainly aren't going to be able to produce food. And we are heading toward a food shortage in this country because our average ordinary farmers all over the Midwest and the South are going broke. We are in dire circumstance, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't bring you this news because I like to bring it to you, but because you got to know what's going on with your country. I don't have any massive IQ. I am educated, and I worked hard to get my education. And I read and write. And I ask questions when things don't add up. Stu, they don't want to give answers, do they?
They don't want to give any answers, and nobody wants to take any information. It's just like the TARP Inspector General. I mean, I don't know how many times I tried to get through directly at the top. I got a hold of some assistants, told them exactly what the problem was, and look at the derivatives and look at the particular items that you and I are aware of. And, of course, they didn't want to hear that. I had Treasury on. I've had the FDIC on. I've had every Inspector General, and, that was months ago, Tom. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to know what the hell is going on.
Well, I can tell you.
Congress and Senate doesn't want to hear it. It's not like 20 years ago. Everybody wanted to hear it, and people were willing to try to do something about it. Now it's like they're told to cover it up. I've never seen such a damn crime syndicate inside the United States government, and it needs to be brought to a halt.
I will tell you, Stu, this media in this country covered it all up for years upon years and got paid bribes to do so, to allow this derivative assault on the American economy to be successful and destroy it. And then a lot of them were talking, well, next time around we got to do a better job of telling the people the truth. Well, they're doing a worse job now than ever. If you're listening out there, media whores, and I know you don't care what we say because you're living there in Washington, D.C., in your Georgetown penthouses with your $5 million salaries, lying away and spinning away, but you're living off derivatives. They're living off derivatives too. And the day's going to come very soon when CNN and MSNBC and Fox News and Disney, Mickey Mouse, ABC are all going to go broke at once because they're not going to be able to get paid anymore. Because the banking system won't be able to generate the money and the derivatives anymore to create the money out of thin air. And believe me, these corporations, these networks are corporations. And these people that work in these networks are told what to say, and if they don't say it, they are fired. And all you got on the media now is you got this idiot, you got Sean Hannity, this FBI informant on Fox News with his propaganda. And then you got Keith Olbermann, who used to be worth a little bit more than what he would occasionally say some things that were worthwhile. He's nothing but a stooge, too, now. He's just up there doing Obama rear-end kissing every day.
Well, they got the latest.
He doesn't mention the derivatives in the banks. He's just talking about, all you hear up there between Fox News and MSNBC is personal insults. What's that going to do for the American people? I talk to the American people, and I turn that crap off. That's out to divert you and make you want to hate somebody else. The enemy is a collective unit of crime syndicate stooges. Right, Stu?
They are. Let's take this guy named Glenn Beck that sounds so patriotic. And, he's brought this to light, and he brings that to light. But why does he bring something on and turn around and put George W. Bush's stooge, Karl Rove, on? The next 5 minutes after, he's talking about some criminality of Obama. Let's get it real here. We got false patriots out there, false patriotic prophets. Glenn Beck is not his name. It's a stage name. His real name's Harold Hill. Let's get real with what's going on. I've had several calls from people in the past month. Oh, this Glenn Beck, he's the only one talking out. He's the only one talking out. Bullshit. Excuse me.
What's his last name, Stu?
Harold Hill. Glenn Beck. His real name's Harold Hill.
Harold Hill.
Harold Hill.
That's a nice normal name, Harold